Hi, it's Ron McTube. Today on Hunter Colour Wild, we're here to celebrate the launch of the high caliber weapon pack and the pistol packing update. It's out now, March the 12th. It costs $4.99 for the high caliber weapon pack, but the pistol packing update is free for all. Let's go over what's in that as I do a bit of hunting at Emerald Coast with the brand new ultimate weapon, one of my favourite weapons in Hunter Colour Wild. One of the new weapons, the Arzina 300 mag tactical. I'm doing a bit of saltwater crocodile hunting, get a bit of money up. If you want to know how to hunt these, 9 o'clock, right hand side on the beach, walk all the way up the right hand side, through the mangroves, and just use this 300 mag tactical, and it's a croc destroyer. The money you'll stack up doing this, as you'll see, it's just amazing. Let's go over the patch notes, shall we, for this update and what it includes. So you got the high caliber weapon pack. It's available now on all platforms, containing 3 powerful new weapons as well as 5 unique cosmetics. You can now take down the biggest game from greater distances in style, as you'll see with these crocodiles. So what's included? You've got the Arzina 300 mag tactical. Now I've got a detailed review of the high caliber weapon pack. Check that out if you didn't already see it. I check them all out individually and we go on hunts, and it's a really detailed review. It's a long video, but check that out if you haven't already seen it. I've also done a video on the speed loader pistol packing update, checking out the revolvers, so check that out if you haven't already seen it. And I've also done a black bear guide with the new updated changes and showing you how that works. So we covered on the content wise. If you haven't already seen it, go check that out. But we're just doing about the patch notes today, mainly for this update. So the Arzina 300 mag tactical offers stellar performance for both hunter and marksman, melding the flexibility of the AR platform with long range power of the 300 Magnum. It sets the new standard in hunting and precision shooting. It is the big game rifle to use now. The 300 bolt rifle, right? That is beautiful. It's a beautiful gun, but with this on the scene, this. Right now, what you want to do, like for saltwater crocodiles, for example, you can just double tap them in the lung and they go literally nowhere. The next weapon is the 4570 Durenberg Superior. Durenberg Superior stands as the go-to rifle for sharpshooters and hunters alike, thanks to its powerful single-shot break action design, firing impressive 4570 caliber rounds and catering to custom needs with its adaptable scope mount. It's more than a simple tool, it's a testament to the fine craftsmanship and precision. And last but not least, we've got the Strandberg 10SA Executive Shotgun. Whether you're stalking prey in wetlands or participating in competitive shooting, the Strandberg 10 gauge semi-automatic shotgun ensures unparalleled performance and reliability every time. It is a beast. I demonstrated this in the high caliber weapon pack review. It was really good, and a lot of people are going to be using that. We've also got 5 new cosmetics. This pack also includes a sleek mix of exclusive material and camo cosmetics that can be applied to selected weaponry and gear in combination with other cosmetics in your inventory. Right, on to the free pistol packing update patch notes. And that's not all. The latest free update for the Hunter Colour Wild is also now available to all players. Let's take a look at the details. So there's a lot of changes here, and I mean a lot. This is a big update. New features, improvements and updates. We've speeded up the reloading animations for all revolvers by adding speed loaders to the game. Developers' notes on this. This change affects all the revolvers in the game which could utilise speed loaders. This excludes the 45 Rolliston for obvious reasons. I showed this in my speed loader video. Binoculars and rangefinders can now be customised by applying cosmetic items to them. That's new. Fosco 357 has been visually reworked from scratch. Double action revolvers now function realistically, cocking when aimed for single action firing, but also allowing for rapid double action shooting without waiting for the hammer to be cocked. It's unreal how I took down some bison with a 454. Absolutely, what a beast. Developers' notes on this: the affected revolvers are the Rhino 454, the Sunberg 454 and the Magnifico 410 45 Colt on its 3 variations: flatback, mutus and polished stick. We've standardised our animal classes, and in doing so we've shifted some animals around to make the experience more consistent and predictable. There's also been animal classes changes, so the Bobcat has gone from a class 3 to a class 2, Mexican Bobcat has gone from class 3 to class 2, Collared Peccary has gone from class 4 to class 3, Pronghorn has gone from class 4 to class 3, Wild Boar has gone from class 4 to class 5, Feral Pig class 4 to class 5, Bighorn Sheep class 4 to class 5, Javan Rooster Deer have gone from class 6 to class 5, Mule Deer have gone from class 6 to class 5, Grey Wolf class 5 to class 6, Iberian Wolf class 5 to class 6, Gemsbuck, this is a big one, they've gone from class 8 to class 6, Samba Deer have gone from class 6 to class 7, Rocky Mountain Elk have gone from class 8 to class 7, Roosevelt Elk have gone from class 8 to class 7, American Alligators have gone from class 6 to class 7, Grizzly Bear have gone from class 7 to class 8, and Saltwater Crocodiles have gone from class 7 to class 8. Now, due to the animal class changes, we've also updated the general class icons too. So the developer's notes on this: we now have a new icon for class 4, white-tailed deer. The class 4 boar has been moved to class 5. Wolf is now the new class 6. The old icon for class 6, reindeer, is no longer present. We've updated the black bear's drinking schedule. They will now look for water in the early morning rather than middle of the night. I've done a black bear guide, check that out with all the updated changes. So I've got that covered. Developers' notes on this: this time we've opted to not reset the black bear population. So only the bears that are spawned after the update will have the new drinking schedule. Existing bears will keep their old schedule. PC players can now use a new option in the multiplayer menu to show or hide hosted games that have no available spots by toggling Show Full Host button. There is now a button for PC and PlayStation players to manually refresh the multiplayer host list. Players will now be informed of what knocked them out when respawning. You've updated the weight for all Tritarium sites. Before these scopes weighed 0.5, now they weigh 0. Now the developer's notes is: now there is no excuse not to have the Tritarium sites in your pocket. Ground blinds and bigger hunting structures can now hold 2 players in multiplayer. Store images for binoculars and rangefinders have been updated. We've added a codex entry for hide or animal clues. An option to show hide the button prompts has been added. The developer's notes: it can be found under the settings, interface and HUD. Spray customizable item from both the New Year 2024 event and the Lunar New Year 2024 event were originally missing. Users who claim those customization packs when they were available should have these customization items automatically added to their available customization items. 2 new spray cosmetics will be available for players who claimed the New Year 2024 Lunar New Year 2024 cosmetic packs during the events, available in January and February. Developers' notes on this: a pesky bug held back the sprays from unlocking before, but after patching up the game, they're good to go. Players who claim the New Year pack will now get access to the New Year Sky Spray. Those who unlocked content from the Lunar New Year pack will get the Lunar New Year paintbrush spray too. Right, bugs and fixes. This is what everyone wants to mainly hear about when there's a big update, so let's go over those. So, gameplay for a start. We've addressed an issue that caused a number of weapons to not shoot accurately. This affected several scopes, and depending on the weapon that was equipped, misalignment was different. That's a really big one. We fixed an issue with the Grelic drilling rifle, where switching between shotgun ammo changed the iron sights to the rifle sight. Driving into a dog at full speed will no longer make the ATV fly and flip. Developers' notes on this: please be nice to your hunting dogs and leave the ATV stunts to the professionals. Active scent eliminators will now properly expire if the player sleeps for longer than they have left on their duration. The default zeroing on the Anderson handguns, i.e. when not using the zeroing perk, has been set to 50 meters, similar to other weapons. The Rolliston and the Kumo will now correctly automatically reload after being fired. Firing a shot with the Tsugu and then switching to another weapon will now cause the new weapon to correctly show up instead of the Tsugi. An issue with zeroing at max range with the 223 and the 270 rifles has been fixed. We've addressed an issue with players who would become unable to swap ammo and scopes in the weapon wheel after doing it often in single play sessions. Changing scopes on the Grelic drilling rifle from the weapon wheel and then choosing a different item to use will not stop the new item from being equipped anymore, which is a big one. We've realigned the Grelic drilling rifle, iron sight and scope to fix any additional accuracy issues. We fixed an accuracy issue with the Grelic drilling rifle when zeroing from 100 meters and 150. We've adjusted the threat generated by the retriever dog while retrieving. Players can finally pet their retriever dog in the Leighton Lake trophy cabin. We fixed an issue with the bloodhound where it would move extremely slowly after interacting with a blood clue. Now the correct ATV will spawn when using a keyboard. Bobcat and Mexican Bobcat have had their weights adjusted to be more accurate from 6.4 to 18 kilo. We resolved a problem where harvest couldn't be picked up by any player if someone left and came back to multiplayer session when honouring on. That is a big deal. Old trophies collected before the scoring update in 2020 will now display the medal that they had at the time of harvest again, rather than the medal that they would have been given using the new scoring system. Now to go over that, I had 2 super rare black books, right? And both of those had changed back to golds, even though it was diamonds, there was super rare diamonds, and now that's been fixed. So I'm over the moon for that. That's a massive one for me especially, but it's a big one for the community as well. Right, on to multiplayer. So multiplayer, the headlamp's light beam, when seen in third person by another person, has been properly adjusted to align with the user's head. Players on the Windows Store version of the game should be able to use text chat to communicate with each other again if they have the appropriate communications privileges set on their accounts. Missions. New missions available pop-up should now only appear when new missions are available. The Make a Difference quest in the New England Mountains Reserve can now be completed again. World. The plane in the Yukon Valley intro cinematic will now work as expected again. We fixed an issue with Basri Memorial and Crimson Bridge Outpost in Yukon Valley not unlocking properly. It will no longer rain forever in any reserve if you leave Tiawara during the toxicology report mission. UI. Selecting reset camera position in the weapon customization will now reset the camera properly. The correct scent eliminator icon will now appear when selecting it with a controller. Apex Connect gaming rights notifications now expires. We've added a warning message when changing the key bindings. Correct icons now appear for decoys when selecting them with a controller. Scrolling through the multiplayer competition list should now be smoother with the scroll bar. The option to rename a trophy lodge is no longer accidentally present on your friend's trophy lodge menu. Buttons will no longer stay highlighted when exploring the settings menu. If the last menu visited was a trophy manager, pressing escape will no longer lead to the inventory. The competition list description will now be shown correctly after scrolling down in the list using a controller. We fixed a navigation issue with selecting mission items in the codex while using the controller. The text field for renaming a loadout can now be focused on while using the controller. We fixed the scaling issues with the third type column in the trophy manager. The highlight lines when inspecting a multi-trophy has been fixed. We've addressed an issue where players could retire a dog in the wrong kennel screen. The Buy DLC button no longer overlaps with descriptions of the reserve in languages other than English. It should be now easier to navigate through the EULA and privacy policy screens. We fixed a localization issue in Portuguese where the controller buttons overlap with the text prompt of the trophy lodge menu. Players should no longer become stuck in the Apex menu if they change from controller to mouse and keyboard while navigating the privacy policy. We resolved a problem with highlighting items when moving through the inventory menu using the controller. We fixed an issue where the Apex friend notifications did not automatically appear. Graphics, we fixed a rendering issue that caused animals placed as multi-trophy to disappear from view at the edge of the camera. A twitching motion of trees in New England Mountains Reserve while having the tree stand equipped is no longer present. Weapon models shown in the store and storage menus should be back to the appropriately high level of detail. Art. The animal in the harvest screen will no longer slowly shrink while rotating. Developer notes, honey, who shrunk my trophy? Now on to animation. The dog should be less likely to rotate its head unnaturally while looking at the player. It was a bit weird when it did that. The retriever has learned to close its mouth properly when fetching arrows. Picking up the Quist Red Pro electronic caller should now be smoother. Unspent rounds should no longer be mysteriously visible in the 270 rifles while chambering and reloading. An idle animation when using the handguns in multiplayer has been fixed. We fixed an animation when players switch between binoculars and rangefinders in multiplayer. Weapons will no longer disappear when holstering and changing to another weapon. We've updated the layout blind animation for multiplayer so the character should look correct while using it. The 44 revolver hammer is now pulled back correctly when shooting from the hip. We've fixed the hand animation when auto walking with the electronic caller equipped. In multiplayer you can now see the ammunition in the reloading animation when other players reload their weapons. We've fixed the 44 Marauder reloading animation when having lightning hands perk 2 and 3. We've fixed the holstering animation of the electronic caller in multiplayer. We've addressed an issue with the missing animation when reloading and switching position to prone with the Tsugi LRR equipped. Fingers should no longer clip with the Marauder model 1894 in different positions. Hands should no longer clip with the crossbow in a prone position in multiplayer. We fixed the head shaking animation and aiming on tripod in multiplayer. We've addressed an animation issue with aiming with a longbow and moving while crouching in multiplayer. We fixed an arm animation when standing up from prone with the Hunter Mate equipped in multiplayer. We fixed the reload animation for the Olsen Model 23-308 and the Malma 7mm Magnum when the player has 2 or 3 ranks of the Lightning Hands perk. Arrows should now be visible for other players in multiplayer. The Coachmate Lever 4570 now has its proper animation while shooting it with the Muscle Memory perk active. The Magnifico Revolver no longer disappears after shooting from the hip. The Labrador will now perform the howling animation when it's raining. We fixed the animation issue where the weapon stayed in the ground if the player aimed while prone and stood up. We fixed the character head movement while aiming on the tripod in multiplayer. We fixed the unholster animation for the Rolliston revolver in multiplayer. Arrows are now in sync with the hand when pulling back the string in multiplayer. The character will keep looking forward while aiming and shooting the Davani in multiplayer. We fixed an animation in multiplayer where the character's head movement while aiming and switching stances from standing to prone and back was incorrect. Changing the sight of the bow while aiming will no longer reset the string. Audio, the flapping sound for the goose has been redesigned. Developers' notes on this, it should be softer now and fade better over distance. We fixed the SFX corruption when selecting the camo tab in the weapon customization. The Stenberg model takedown recurve bow now plays the correct sound when holstering, unholstering in multiplayer. The distress deer call used for calling grizzly bears in the electronic caller is now an actual distress call. Fix some issues with the flag sound effects at outposts. The tire swing in Mississippi will no longer sound metallic when pushed. The electronic caller will now play the proper sound for mountain lions. Happy hunting. Let me just have a deep breather. That's 20 minutes. 20 minutes of just reading patch notes in this update. That's how big it is. Not only do we get all the stuff we mentioned, it's massive. 20 minutes that's just took to read out all the changes. So this is a very big update, and there's been a lot of work put into it. So thank you, devs. And the high caliber weapon pack is amazing. As you can see, as I'm dropping these bloody bantings one by one, Emerald Coast is a superb money earner. So if you don't own this map, and it's one of the most popular maps there is now, because of this, if you want money and you're a new player or you just want cashing, come to Emerald Coast, right? Hunt saltwater crocodiles, banteng, like I'm doing now, and the money rains. It really does. I'm hunting the banteng at 2 o'clock at the minute. I've come inland, the bottom right hand corner, go all the way up the right for saltwater crocodiles from 9 in the morning, and then about 2 o'clock come inland on the right hand side and you'll get lots of banteng. I've got guides on all the animals for Emerald Coast if you need them, so I've got that sorted for you. But today's been all about the high caliber weapon pack release and the pistol packing update, which is out now on all platforms. So go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know about the weapons, which are your favorites, what you would like to change, if there's anything to change. But that's a massive update that's out today. It really is big for the Hunter Call of Wild, and can't wait to see what's next. But yeah, I'm going to rest my throat for a little bit, I think, after that. That was a long update, and I didn't think it'd be that big, and I'm so surprised. I was waiting for the patch notes to come out, and I'm glad we've gone over them as well. But as you can see, the banteng are being destroyed at Emerald Coast with this brand new Arzina 300 mag tactical. That's my favourite gun of the weapon pack, and just let me know which is yours in the comments. So I'm RomRecTube. We've been covering the high caliber weapon pack and pistol packing update out now on all platforms on the Hunter Call of Wild. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.